All right, welcome everybody to the Board Boosters
Hello.
panel.
Hello there.
This is
Thank you.
our
Thank you very much.
this is our discussion of our June 2025 Board Boosters game Pac-Land for the TurboGrafx 16. A quick introduction about who we are and what we do here. We're a speedrunning club that was founded in 2023, going for about 2 years now. We pick a different game to boost every other month. And then we learn it in the Discord, and we post times at the end of the month. And we try to target games that have very small speedrun boards, that don't have a lot of like recognition, but are awesome games that need some more visibility. We've done that for 12 games so far. And fun fact, 11 of those 12 games we've managed to improve the world record for every one of those games. Which is pretty sick. So this last month we did Pac-Land, specifically for the TurboGrafx 16, but we also did a couple other ports as well, like NES, Commodore 64, was it Atari Lynx? Yep.
Yeah.
So really cool. Let's talk a little bit. I guess we'll do some introductions here as well, because I'm not the only one here. Zero Counts. I guess I'll do an introduction of myself quick. But I'm Zero Counts, one of the founding members of Board Boosters. And we have a special guest here.
I'm David TKI. I was the one who suggested Pac-Land as the game for the month of June, and I do have the current world record for TurboGrafx 16 8 trips.
And I'm Bug Doctor, one of the other founding members of Board Boosters. Back a couple years ago. It's crazy to think it's been 2 years already. It feels like happened yesterday.
Right.
But
Let's talk a little bit about Pac-Land, huh? All right, so Pac-Land was released in 1984 for arcades. It's kind of a platformer game where you're trying to dodge ghosts, get to the end of each round. The objective of the game is that you're trying to take these ferries back to Fairyland and then run back to your home, and do that a couple times, that's pretty much the game. David, I want to kind of start things off. What made you want to suggest Pac-Land?
It was partly a pay-it-forward kind of deal. At SGDQ 2022, I was introduced to Pac-Land by Flannel Cat and P-Seg, and they made me play it, and they were kind of glazing me because I did pretty well on it, and I ended up playing it some more, and then I kept playing it, and it was like, wow, this is fun. So I want to subject others to it, too.
Was it the TurboGrafx version that you were...
It was the TurboGrafx version specifically. Nice. It is originally an arcade game, but it's been ported to many systems, and the TurboGrafx version is by far the best one.
Yeah. I was only able to play the NES version, TurboGrafx version, but I would have to agree out of those two, TurboGrafx was definitely the more fun of the two. No shade on the NES version at all, don't worry. You were one of the top runners of this game. What drove you to run it as much as you did for the month?
Well, it was mostly just that I wanted to see that record come down, and then Alice Ujasu beat me to beating that record, and I wanted to beat her back, and I did. But really, what I really wanted was a deathless 8 trips run. I did not get that, but I did at least get a 1cc, which had not happened before the month.
Yeah, this I feel like, obviously in speedruns you want to try to get as few deaths as you can. In Pac-Land, that's a huge ask. It is a difficult game, very difficult platforming, puts you in some very precarious situations, as we'll see during the world record run that we're going to be watching later. Would you recommend this game to new speedrunners?
That really depends on what a speedrunner is looking for. Like the platforming action, skill-based reactions to all this stuff that's being thrown at you, it's a whole lot of fun. But adjusting to the interesting controls, it's a little bit like learning how to play video games again. Like, just swap the sides of the controller, and suddenly you can't play by instinct anymore because you're pressing the wrong buttons.
Right. We should kind of talk about that, how the game controls, because it is very unique. The D-pad is not used for much movement at all. It's used for jumping. Any one of the buttons on the D-pad will make Pac-Man jump, and the 1 and 2 buttons, or B and A, or the 2 and 1 button on the TurboGrafx controller, B and A on the NES respectively. B makes you go left as you tap it, and A makes you go right as you tap it. So the faster you tap the button, the faster Pac-Man will run. Which,
Very strange.
like David said, is completely backwards. It's almost like you want to like turn the controller upside down while you're playing, because it just doesn't make much sense. The good thing is about the TurboGrafx version, though, is that the TurboGrafx, for those who don't know, had Turbo built into the controllers. So without a doubt, Turbo is allowed on the TurboGrafx 16 version. So you can just hold the button down, and Pac-Man will go at I believe the max speed that Pac-Man can run. Some runners did not know that. That's true. We came across some old runners of Pac-Land, me specifically, who came into my chat and was like, wait a minute, you can use Turbo on the TurboGrafx 16 version? And I was like, yeah, you're going to have to go back and rerun the game.
It's an included feature.
Let's see. I got another question here for you. Do you think your experience from your other speedruns transferred over to this game at all?
Absolutely. I've played platformers before, so sometimes you just get a sense for stuff like, oh, I need to jump before a pit in order to accelerate vertical velocity, or things like that. You get a really good sense for when you can jump and get away with it, and when you can't, and gotta wait it out.
Yeah. Pac-Land definitely has that kind of momentum thing going too, where like you want to have like run a little bit before getting that jump, to make sure your distance is as far as it can go. Some of those jumps, especially on the NES version, unfortunately, we won't see that for this one, but there's some jumps on the NES version that are, I don't see how the devs thought they were possible, honestly, but make them work. Let's see. Do you think that the experience will help in any of your other speed games? So you think you could take any of this and move it over to some other speed games? Anything you learned from this game in particular?
I'm not sure exactly. Like, I can say that trying to run the Atari Lynx version taught me some new moves for jumping over ghosts, but apart from that, I'm not sure how this would translate to other games.
Right. Let's see. Is there like, how is like our collective knowledge of this game expanded? So like, what were some of the new exploits or any new tricks that were discovered during this month of playing the game? Was there any new tech?
The biggest one probably is that Alice Ujasu ended up mapping out the professional mode run of TurboGrafx 16.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with the TurboGrafx version, you play through the game normally, but then once you beat the game, there's a professional mode where the ghosts move super fast, and it's extremely difficult to dodge. And for a while, it was thought to be impossible, but then Rijasu sat down, learned it, and she's managed to beat it in like 40 minutes, which is really impressive, because the one person who completed it before that took somewhere around 20 hours, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know she originally didn't know if it was going to be able to be possible to be under an hour, and then saved a whole ton of time on her next attempt, which is really cool. Bug, do you have any other questions for David before we move on to checking out this world record run?
Not that I can think of. Anyone in the crowd have questions?
Oh, we got some questions in the crowd. The category. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that probably we should have said that at the beginning, huh? Yeah, the categories for the game are, so it is an arcade game at heart. So the category specifically for TurboGrafx, the one that we'll be watching, is 8 trips. What defines a trip is 4 rounds. So a round consists of 3 segments where you're running to the right towards Fairyland, and then a 4th round where you run back a victory lap, as some of us call it, back home, which is typically running much faster and a shorter span. So it's about the length of a normal round on the way back. So there's 4 trips. So that's going to be 16 rounds, and then there's 8 trips, which is 32, so on and so forth. And the professional is that 64?
Professional
rounds?
is the same number of rounds and trips as non-professional.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Very good question.
But yeah, I will note briefly that I overhauled the leaderboards around the start of the month. It used to be like 4 trips, 8 trips, subcategory of what console you're playing it on. I switched it around so that the console was the main category because 2 versions of the game are very different, and then each one has its own set of subcategories. So the TurboGrafx 16 has 4 trips, 8 trips, 4 trips professional, 8 trips professional. The NES version has 4 trips, warpless, things like that.
All right. Any other questions from the crowd before we look at the world record? All right. Cool. Let me pull it up here, and we'll check it out. We'll do a little commentary over the world record run here. So as a reminder, this is going to be the world record run for the 8-trip category, specifically on the TurboGrafx 16 version of the game, set by David TKI. Let's check it out.
Yeah, so you get a trip number starting out 1 through 5. You're going to start off with trip number 1. The first thing I will note going through this is that even though we're using turbo and like using the D-pad to jump, I actually want to minimize the number of jumps that I'm doing because turbo is 2 frames on and 2 frames off, and Pac-Man has a chance of stuttering on the landing.
Yeah, I saw that happening a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also dodge the power pellets because on the bottom you see the little Pac-Man. That's your timer, and it has to count down at the end of each round. And if you get the power pellet, it pauses that timer.
Oh, wow. Do the points factor in at all into the run?
A little bit. It used to be a rule that you had to start the console from a fresh power on because your leaderboard does not save when you power off the console. And if you get 30,000 or more points and you get a game over, then you're going to have to enter a score on the leaderboard. And entering a score on the leaderboard is slow.
Right.
So there's some consideration for when you want to take a game over. But the other things about the points is that you get extra lives at certain point thresholds. That's 30,000, 100,000, and 200,000.
It should be said on some of these platforms with the rolling logs that those actually are like conveyor belts, and they like push you in different directions. So
Yeah. One really nice thing about those springboards, there's a hover mechanic where if you mash the 1 or 2 buttons, then you slow down your descent. But turbo,
yeah, turbo, just hold it down.
just hold it down.
This is Fairyland, by the way. This is where you have to bring the fairies to, and then they reward you with these boots, these little flying boots,
Yes.
to allow you to do the hovering, or like multiple jumps in the midair.
Yeah. So the mechanic for the space jump, we're way ahead of Metroid on that, by the way, is that you can jump at any time so long as your Y value is low enough. So, like, if you decide to, say, roll the D-pad, you will suddenly ascend rapidly up until you hit the point that you can't jump anymore.
Does it behoove the player to land as close to the ground as possible by the house?
I'm very sorry. I had trouble hearing that.
Oh, that's okay. Is it beneficial to the player to land as close to the ground right before the house, so that you don't have to descend as far when they count up points? It would be like
Not really. There's a weird mechanic where jumping when you get to break time or get to home, like if you can time your jump as like early as possible, but without landing, you get more points. So like say you get 1,000 points. In a normal run, you probably don't want to be racking up the points because you don't want to be ending up on the leaderboard. But
Right.
in my case, I'm looking for a 1cc, so I'm actually trying to rack up the points so that I get more extra lives. But normally, I would say don't go for points.
Right. Some of these really long water sections here, sometimes you can actually clear over 2 of the water sections on one jump, so you don't have to risk a stutter when you jump, land on the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the earlier rounds are fairly simple, although even Trip 2 can sometimes cause me some trouble. Round 7 actually is one where I've been trying to figure out just how exactly to run through this, because those water spouts that pop up, we refer to those as Satan, because they will drag you to the pits of hell when they grab you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't want to be blocked by the water spouts. If you get blocked by the water spout, you got to stop, you lose time. No good.
Yeah, and you have to wait for them too. I think you can get out of the water spout, but you have to be pretty close to the edge. You can still move while you're in it, but it's not recommended.
Yeah, I'm not fully clear what the mechanics are, but I think if you're on the edge of the spout, it's possible to get yourself out of it. Or if you press jump when you happen to be on a platform, maybe that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Round 8 looks like it's going smooth, but that's actually one that I had to spend a lot of time learning, just because the planes tend to drop their ghost babies at the worst possible time and force you to stop. So I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get through this round without stopping.
Right. Something I noticed too, and I don't know if you have any insider knowledge on this at all, but like it seems like the rate at which they drop them, or the times in which they drop the ghosts, or even like do any action, seems somewhat different every time. I don't know if it's on like a stage timer or like how it works.
I think they're RNG, but there's like usually only a couple of different patterns,
Right.
so it's usually possible to see them all and react to them. But sometimes when there's like 4 ghosts on screen and you've got 3 dropping babies, 1 pogoing, sometimes you just don't memorize it. You got to react on the spot.
Right.
Are any of the stages like repeats? Like, did any of them repeat at all? Or are they all completely unique to each
They're all
other?
completely unique.
Oh, cool.
That's part of the reason that we do 8 trips. Like on the TurboGrafx version, the game actually does end after 8 trips. You get at the end, game over, you did it, hooray.
Right.
But on every other version of the game, there's no the end screen. Instead, the trips just repeat.
Right, yeah.
So the NES version has 4 trips that repeat. The original arcade version has 8 trips that I believe repeat.
One of my favorite screens that we'll kind of see in a little bit here is the ghost houses that you have to pass through, which involve like getting keys and things like that to unlock doors to get through different paths as the ghosts are coming down through the hallways. This, on the other hand, is one of my least favorite screens.
Yeah, these
Doesn't look stressful at all.
these log cliff screens are quite perilous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can make them a little bit easier if you know when to jump, but there's... see, Pac-Man jumps higher when he's got a running jump, but again, your stuttering turbo can be an obstacle in that regard,
Right.
because I have had quite a few deaths where I land on one of the lower platforms and then I jump again, only to realize I haven't started running yet, so I only got the lower jump, which didn't make it to the platform, which leads to me plummeting to my death.
One of the-
I doubled back there.
Close.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one of the small kind of optimizations or that I see, or like safety techniques too, is not only do we just let go of the button and stop running, you kind of do a little bit of a double back, kind of turning around again to kind of keep that momentum up, so that when you turn back to the left again, if you do need to do a jump after that, you're still at that top momentum.
Yeah. Pac-Man is a lot more difficult to control than it appears. That he's constantly keeping at momentum. It's hard to shift the momentum. And sometimes he just suddenly goes zooming off for no reason. Precision is difficult.
These little water shots that are coming out of the fire hydrants, those don't actually kill Pac-Man. They just will push Pac-Man. So if you stand still and you stay there, the water will actually push Pac-Man forward. And then there's a bunch of oncoming ghosts. You have to be careful.
Yeah, not only do they push you forward, but they push you into running. So your jumps will always be running speed if you happen to be pushed.
Right. So this is the ghost house I was talking about. There's these keys. It's kind of like a maze where you have to kind of find your way through. You can double back if you need to, but otherwise, there's usually a pretty set pattern to get through these. The ghost patterns that come through are very predictable, so usually you go through it the same way pretty much every time. But it's a cool, different atmosphere after having played 13 rounds, and all of a sudden you have this new music and this new segment. So.
Yeah, we've got one of those water spout levels again, and you know the log cliff levels are pretty brutal, but so are the water spouts. This one in particular won't look too bad because the water spout's the only thing we're really dealing with. But when you suddenly have fire hydrants pushing you around, water spouts coming to get you, ghosts flying by and dropping their babies, that's when it gets really bad. Question from the audience: how does this ship affect the level? The ships make platforms appear, so you have additional places where you can jump.
Very helpful to dodge some of those pits. So hey, we have our victory lap back again.
Yeah, I don't remember if I got the jump here. Yeah,
Hey,
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, it is extremely difficult to jump past those airplane ghosts without stopping. The first cliff edge, you either have to hold back for like 2 seconds, or you got to land on it just right so that you can jump over it.
A lot more ghosts here. Wow, that was quite the threading of the needle there.
Judgment call there. Like, can I make it under? Yeah, I can make it under.
It's important to note on this version too. Oh, well, by the way, you got the creepy ghost
creeping,
there.
creeping in the window.
Pac-Man sleep.
Santa ghost knows when you're asleep.
You can actually jump above the top of the screen in this version, whereas I know in the NES version you can't do that. There's like a ceiling at the top of the screen. So.
Yeah, the Lynx version has a really fun thing where you can jump endlessly. So on the round 4 trips, you just fly off the top of the screen. Nothing can get you. I believe my first death of this run is around here. Okay, no, it's not going to be there. It's going to be right after I float past here. Because... No?
Nope.
Huh.
Maybe there just wasn't one.
Yeah,
You did get the deathless.
Would that be a nice
No,
surprise?
this is not deathless. No. But yeah, on the leaderboards, we separate between 4 trips and 8 trips because past trip 4 is when the game starts to get extremely difficult. Yeah, again, we've got another one of these log cliff jumping sections. There's my first death. There it is. I knew it was during trip 5.
The number of times that I'd been killed by that, the ghost coming, or specifically the yellow ghost coming up on the top there. Is this supposed to be orange? There really isn't a yellow Pac-Man ghost, is there?
It's supposed to be orange.
I guess
Probably.
so.
Clyde or whatever.
Innumerable the number of times that happened.
Yeah, and it only gets worse because we've still got more of those type of stage on rounds 22 and 26. And round 26 in particular is one of the first real, yeah, you'll quit the game here moments. I mean, maybe 22 can be that too, but 26 is like 22 but worse. So we'll see. But rounds 19 and 20 are actually kind of breathers because round 19 is the ghost house, and the route through that is the same every time. But then round 20, well, all I can say about round 20 is the ghosts are on strike. Do not cross the picket line.
Weird. What's that all about? They just forgot to put them in here?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know what the deal with round 20 is. Well, apart from that, the amount of time you have for the round is just barely enough.
Oh,
By the way, it's not instant death if that timer runs out. There's a ghost that's been chasing you this whole time named Sue. She's usually just off camera behind you. But if the timer runs out, then she will hit her enrage timer and start moving really fast.
Oh, there's one.
And there's two, and that's it. And hilariously enough, on the Atari Lynx version, you don't have enough time on round 20 to make it to the end before Sue gets mad.
Love that.
You then end up having to jump up and down to make her sway sideways so that she can't catch you.
The baby skip of Pac-Land. Yeah, and something about the NES version as well is you actually have to use Sue to like get over one of the jumps in that version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta manipulate her just right so that you can make one what feels like a pixel perfect jump. It's pixel perfect with Sue's help. It's impossible without it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a strategy for round 21, I believe, where you can somehow ride a fire hydrant to the top of the houses and then just run on top of the houses. And I think that's a lot easier and safer than just running through the stage like I did.
David likes to live on the edge a little bit.
Well, I mean, at this point, the record is fast enough that I can't really afford that kind of safety.
Sure.
Oh,
we got
yeah,
some
then we've
new-
got logs in the water. Make things even better. Try precision landing on those things. It's actually not that bad. But then you've got big jump here.
Ooh, big
with-
jump.
And get to the end. Rounds 22 and 26, the jumps have been routed out specifically to just to land on a plane whenever possible and bait them. Oh, round 23 is kind of difficult because we've got the water spouts. We're going to start seeing ghosts and planes dropping their babies. There we go. Where this gets difficult is that the water spout will block your progress, but then when your progress is blocked for long enough, you'll see a ghost from the left chasing you. And I think I'm going to die here. Yeah.
Well, you won't let those ghosts take you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty difficult round. And woo, just barely made it under the blue. Most of the ghosts in the planes, when they come from ahead of you, they will dip down but then go back up. And they're just dipping down to scare you. They're not usually a threat, except for blue. Blue will actually hit you.
Yeah, a comment from the crowd that the deaths don't look very punishing. Yeah, sometimes actually I think they put you a little bit ahead of where you ended up dying, depending on where it is happens.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deaths are usually not so bad until you game over, at which point the game over is going to probably cost anywhere from half a minute to a couple of minutes, depending on how far in the stage you were. But like, I want to be deathless because even one death is probably costing about 5 seconds.
The deaths, do they also add to your timer then as well? when
Oh
you
yeah,
come
they
back?
reset the timer.
Which is
so-
more time at the end
yeah.
for counting up points. So the closer to the end that you die, the more time is going to get added because of that timer countdown.
Yeah. But yes, in a general sense, deaths are not that punishing, at least in the TurboGrafx version. It continues where you really lose the time, especially in any other version where you don't get continues.
Well, something we didn't really get to see much, but saw a little bit right there, is those places that have the skull are actually quicksand that you'll like sink into the ground. But most of the time, you don't spend enough time on them to see that. So.
And yeah, I'm going to give a special note to round 26. Mentioned before, very difficult round. There was actually a Crusoe Grand live match yesterday where the contestants were playing Pac-Land. And round 26 was basically the decider of that match. One contestant got past 26 after 3 or 4 game overs. The other contestant did not. Yeah. Get the power pellet on purpose there.
Yeah.
The power pellet does make you jump higher. It can help with that last jump, but also it keeps ghosts out of the way. One of the few occasions where I will grab it.
Does that moon in the
Sorry, does the time that power pellet lasts also like decrease as you go through the game, or is it consistent? Like, you know, in Pac-Man, like standard Pac-Man, it, like they always get faster and faster, or is it like the same?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's the same, but
Okay.
I don't really remember.
Yeah.
This is another stage where I will grab the power pellet because the ghosts have a tendency to block the door.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I love that moon. This is the first screen that has the moon in it, or this round.
Is the moon looking at me?
Yeah, it's got eyes. The man in the moon.
I did not realize the moon was looking at me. I mean, I'll take it over the sun glaring at me, but it's still kind of weird. Yeah, all these ghosts with the pogos have random patterns. I can't always get through without stopping, or sometimes I just can't read it. But the rest of this stage is a set pattern. I'm just going to dip slightly there and then go below so that that was a bad jump. That was a terrible decision. I was trying to jump there to avoid ledge lands. No, I had to double back. Wasn't worth it. For any 8 trips run, trip 8 usually is where you make or break. Because we're going to look at round 29 here and see, oh, there's water and there's no spring. So let's hitchhike for a bit.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a nice little break.
But then the clouds here, yeah, you got to be wary because they will drag you off the plane and sometimes into the plane's hitbox and kill you.
Right.
Which is why I'm jumping here because I cannot trust that I will remain safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that in the NES one too. That one stage has similar, same thing, right?
Oh, yeah, but the NES one is a little bit worse because there's actually a cactus wall blocking you that you have to jump over with momentum, and then you got to kill that momentum before you land on the ghost again.
Right.
It is dreadful. The ghost house on round 30 is a little bit of a breather. The pattern is more complicated than any other ghost house, but it's still consistent. You'll need 1 key to get through the door at the end here, and then you're going to get ambushed by a ghost.
Just enough room to jump over them.
Yeah.
Kind of scary.
Blinky.
Yeah.
Blinky, inky, pinky.
But then we have the most difficult round in the game. We've got water spouts, we've got ghosts all over the place, and we have no rockets for creating platforms with. And the pattern of the water spout is extremely quick. The ghosts are very often in the way. Managed to escape the water spout there, but we're going to get to a point where ghosts are coming on planes, and I will take the power pellet just to get a little bit of a reprieve going forward. But beyond this point, I'm wanting to get onto the top platform so that I can actually use the planes as platforms rather than have to deal with dodging the water spout, just because of how dreadfully scary it is. And yeah, did not make it up there. 3 deaths.
This is where all the extra lives come in handy.
Yes. Like, in your early runs, if you get to round 31 and you don't have at least full lives, you probably want to take a game over and reset your life counter just because round 31, there is no guarantee that you'll get past it, even if you have full lives. It's brutal. I've spent a lot of time labbing it, and even then, this happened.
All right, the final victory lap for this category.
Yeah. Round 32. And there's no landing, so there's no checkpoints. In some ways, that's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that you are never going to stop to reset for lives here, since there's no point. But the curse is you got to get through that whole thing unscathed.
Yeah.
That's time, right?
And that's time.
GG.
Yeah, my time there is a 23:42 or so. Beat my previous time by like 3 or 4 seconds, but the world record prior to doing all this was like a 25:03.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So we've improved it by a minute 15 or so.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's important to note too that you know that run in particular gets really hairy at the end there, very difficult. But the good thing about like a run like this is that you know it has the 4 trip as well, which is a lot more approachable. You kind of get used to the game playing that 4 trip,
Yep.
and then you get the courage. If you're really feeling the game, you can up the category to the 8 trip and pull something like this off, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to Lemming Runs, because he did actually do 8 trips and increased the number of runs on that board from 4 to 5. Woo. Which I'm really happy about.
Yeah.
We also improved the 4 trips record. It went from like 1053 to 1045.
Nice.
And Mike Speedy Adventures and I both tie that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You actually, I think it was Mike that put a kind of a comparison, just put the 2 runs right next to each other, so you could watch them mirrored, and it was really interesting to watch how much of the jumps are like identical, and then how like some of them like how it diverts a little bit, and then kind of comes together back at the end.
Right.
Which is really cool. Yeah. Any other questions from the run or anything like that from the audience or up here on the table?
Does anyone want to try it now that they've seen it?
Does it look interesting? Yeah. All right. Well, do we want to spin the wheel and see what we got coming up here?
Yeah, may as well.
Spin
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
All right. Yeah, let's do that. How about
So every time we pick a game, it's all suggestions from our community, and we leave it up to kind of random chance. We have a wheel that we spin, and then if your game gets selected to be run for a month, you actually get taken off the wheel for 3. You have to contribute to 3 different boosts, and then you get put back on. That's just so you don't get your selections dominating everything. So. Yeah, so these are all community submitted games, and if you want to join up, then you can submit some games for it as well.
Mm-hmm. And we try to encourage people too. Like after a game is selected, you know, you have to participate in a certain number of board boosts to get back onto the board. Yeah. We have a couple of runners in here who have actually suggested a game. And then come back to run enough games to get back onto the wheel, which is really cool to see that participation.
Yeah.
Some board booster veterans in here. All right. Well, without further ado, let's give it a spin.
Yeah.
We're doing a name first, and then if that person has multiple games that they suggested, then we'll spin for the game specifically. I'm going to pull up the game list here so I know right away whether we're going to have to do another wheel or not. So. All right, let's get going.
Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn. Show us the game that we should learn.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
that's
Okay.
close.
That was really close.
That was very close between those two. So Pop It, this is a platformer game. There's only one suggestion. And this is, all right, you ready for this title? It's so long, I can't. Here we go. It's Randall the Grape Jelly Cube goes to Soda Valley for some reason. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. So this is a more modern game. I think it came out last year.
Yep.
I believe it's like it is purchasable, but I think it's 99 cents.
Yeah, super cheap.
Really cheap game. 3D platformer. You play as a purple jelly cube. Let's why don't we look it up? How about it?
Yeah.
Give it a little look here. There is a speedrun.com board for this speedrun.
Just a note here, something else we try to do with our submissions is we try to keep them kind of like below the half-hour mark so they're somewhat approachable time-wise. We also try to make sure that they're like affordable or like ones that are easily shmemulated. Don't want to say the actual word here, but yeah, easily accessible games as well.
Look at those eyes. Look at those googly eyes. So we can look at a speedrun of it here. Randall the Grape Jelly Cube goes to Soda Valley for some reason.
Oh, wow.
So we got some really interesting movement, some movement tech. We got some spins.
I think
Blasted
I
forward.
That takes another second for you to get into the game.
Spinning.
Oh, this looks intense already.
I just think that was Randall was dead and he needed to reset.
Some
But I
wall
couldn't
jumps
help
as
but-
well.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but notice there was a 100% category.
Oh yeah, David's itching for that category. Got some sponge jumps
Is that
there.
sponge or cheese?
I don't know. Who knows? Does grape jelly go good with cheese? I don't know. Yeah. Does it go good with sponges? Yeah.
Only
maybe.
one way to find out.
I can't wait for Randall to break jelly.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's a Randall grape jelly cube. That's going to be. So, what kind of categories? You said there was 100% as well. Check this out here. This is speedrun.com for anybody who hasn't actually like checked out the website. You can see you got like different leaderboards, the full game. There's individual levels for this as well. So we got a 100% category. We got 2 people. All right, so
Ooh,
there
a
you
little
go.
over an hour.
Hour for the 100%. If you're feeling feisty, you can go for the whole thing. But
Feels like with a 3D platformer too, there's probably some room for, like, a good amount of room for improvement.
right. I wonder if there's
Like
any
red-
sort of like
red
clipping or
pages or
anything
something.
like that for a game like this.
Yeah.
It looks like we have some forms of like guides and stuff, like just how to do certain strats in here. Complete guide to Randall cloning. Apparently, you can clone
Oh.
Randall. I don't know anything about that. This is actually the person who suggested Board Boosters member Pop-Ip. So sounds like Pop-Ip has some information for us. So yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Pop-Ip's here in 3rd place, 16 minutes. So maybe this is Pop-Ip's push. Well, this is 4 days ago too, so that was after
Oh, yeah.
Pop-Ip actually made the suggestion. So
So
they're-
they've been running while we've been here at GDQ.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're already working at it. Yeah, so awesome. Okay, cool. So what we do is after we suggest a game, we end up putting it up on the. We change out our Discord. We'll take the Pac-Land channel and archive that, and we'll create some new Randall and the Randall the Grape Jelly Cube Discord channels.
We got to get a sizable acronym.
Yeah,
going for
right.
that
I
one.
know the RGJCSVSR Discord channel. So we do have business cards and stickers that we can hand out afterwards for anybody who's interested in joining. Those business cards have QR codes that you can scan, take you to our website. Otherwise, if you don't want to go through that trouble, just go to boardboosters.com,
Yeah.
and there's links to our Discord in the About section there.
There's information on all our past boosts and everything there too. So
Yeah,
check those
we
out.
try to keep that updated. Shout outs to Sel Donardo for helping put together our website and keeping that running smooth.
Yeah.
So before we wrap things up here, first of all, I guess, are there any other questions from the crowd before we close things out? Oh, yeah. Johnny Go.
No refunds.
Johnny Go was
Get outta
in the
here.
crowd here on the list, did not get selected. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to say, Board Boosters is we've been doing this for 2 years. We love seeing new members come in. We love seeing teaching people new runs. We love learning runs as a community. If you've never speedrun a game, we will help you learn. We will show you where the resources are. We'll teach you how to run games. If you don't have the consoles to run the games, we can teach you how to use the the means that necessary to get the games running. If you have a bunch of runs under your belt, even if you have run games, would love to have you in. Having different perspectives, having different eyes on games, that's how we find these new things. A lot of times what happens is a world record runner will suggest their game, and they'll be like, hey, I want more people to learn this, and we'll get more people's eyes on it, and they'll find things that person had never even considered before. And then that's led to us improving
almost every record.
Almost a dozen boards at this time, this point now. 12 of our 13 have had the previous world record cut down, which is really cool. And not always by the world record holder themselves. Somebody new will come in and I've also been seeing more board boosters, like veterans, going back to old board boosters games. I know Uchi was trying to go back and grind some Defenders of Dynatron City, which was our second board boost.
Poor soul.
One of our most infamous board boost games. And I know Muta Shadow was doing Pogi for an upcoming event, which is awesome to see. People going back and checking out these games because they really deserve the love that we've been giving them. And we also been seeing new runners run games that we've boosted. Using some of the resources, specifically with Corridor 7. Corridor 7 got pushed down a whole nother minute because somebody came in and ended up running that as well.
Cutting a minute off of a 9-minute run, like that's nothing to sneeze at. So
right, absolutely. So so Board Boosters, we're a welcoming, diverse, and inclusive group that's always looking for new members. I'll get you some information up here if you want it. Otherwise, go to boardboosters.com. All the info is there. Check out our past boosts. Check out all the information. There's infographics for all the runs we've done. We also have a YouTube channel. You can check out some of our past post-mortems and see how we liked some of the games that we did. I want to thank GDQ for letting us do this panel, doing the meetup this week as well.
Yeah, I appreciate
We've gotten a lot of new members this week, which is really cool. I'm hoping they're interested in trying to learn Randall the Grape Jelly Cube.
Yeah, here's hoping.
I hope to see you all in the Discord.
Yeah. Thanks for coming out and attending the panel. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thanks again, David, for all the Pac-Land info.
Yeah, thank you, David, for joining us up here. All right. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. That's it.